All right, ready to dive into something exciting? Today we're heading to Oxford University, and we're making this deep dive especially for our listeners in Africa. Those of you who might be thinking, Oxford, is that even an option for me?
You're right on the money with that. Oxford does have this almost legendary reputation, which I get it, can be intimidating. But the reality is, Oxford is really welcoming to international students. I mean, think about it, 1/3 of their student body. They come from over 140 different countries.
Wow,
Well,
really? So it's not just, all British students in those really old buildings.
not at all. And you know what's really interesting? Oxford consistently ranks as the world's #1
Number
university.
one. Seriously.
Yeah, according to the Times Higher Education World University Rankings.
Okay, so, I get the bragging rights of that, but what does that actually mean for someone, thinking about studying there?
It really reflects the quality of both the teaching and the research at Oxford. I mean, think about it. You would be working with some of the top academics in the world. You'd have access to incredible libraries and resources.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see the appeal. But let's get practical for a second.
Mm.
Imagine you're in Africa, you're thinking Oxford. What's like the first thing you need to know?
Okay, so first things first, the application process is the same for everyone, no matter where you're from. No extra hoops to jump through for international students.
Oh, that's good to know. That makes it seem a little less overwhelming.
Yeah.
What about the courses though? What kind of programs are we even talking about here?
They have a massive range, a huge range. We're talking literally A to Z graduate courses covering, well, pretty much any field you can think of.
So there's something for everyone.
Sounds like it. Literature, physics, history, computer science, you name it, they've got it.
Okay, what if you're someone who can't just, up and move to England for school?
Well, they actually offer part-time and online options too, which is really helpful for students who might be working or have other commitments.
Ah, okay, flexibility is key.
Yeah.
So let's say you've found the perfect program. What's next? How do you actually get in?
Well, the Oxford website has a whole section on graduate admissions. It walks you through everything from, the application guide to information for referees, everything you need to know.
Okay, so the website has all the practical stuff.
Mhm.
But I imagine applying to Oxford can be, well, I mean, pretty nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
especially from across the world. What kind of support do they offer international students?
They have a section specifically for international students on their website. It covers, lots of important stuff like visas, English language requirements, even what it costs to actually study at Oxford.
Ah, yeah, costs. That's probably at the top of everyone's mind. Oxford has a reputation for, being pretty pricey.
Well, studying at Oxford is definitely an investment, but they do offer scholarships and funding specifically for international students. And they even have this cool tool on their website. It's called Fees, Funding, and Scholarship Search.
Okay, so don't rule it out just because of the cost, before you've explored all the options.
Yeah.
Speaking of exploring, what's life actually like for a student at Oxford?
Imagine this. Okay, you're living in this historic city, surrounded by some of the brightest minds from all over the world. You're attending lectures given by world-renowned professors, having, these incredible discussions. You have access to some of the best libraries and resources you can imagine.
Wow, that sounds pretty amazing. But is it all work and no play?
Not at all. Oxford, it has this vibrant student life with tons of clubs, societies, and activities. And, they really take student well-being seriously. There are lots of support services to help you thrive academically and personally.
So it's not just about, hitting the books 24/7. You get a whole life experience there.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's, the career boost. Oxford graduates, they're highly sought after by employers all over the world.
Yeah, I can imagine having Oxford on your CV probably opens some doors. But what about after graduation? What if someone wants to stay in the UK? What then?
That's where understanding post-study work permit options becomes really important. The UK, it has, specific immigration policies for international students who want to work there after they graduate.
So it's not automatic just because you studied there.
Unfortunately not, but there are pathways to stay in the UK after you graduate, and, Oxford has resources to help you figure all of that out.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, and I know this is probably a lot to take in. Where can our listeners go for more personalized guidance?
That's where a resource like Immigration Bridging Academy can be incredibly helpful. They offer free consultations. You can talk about your qualifications, your goals, and they'll really help you figure out if Oxford is, the right fit for you.
So it's kind of like having a personal guide through the whole process.
Exactly. They can help you with everything. Choosing the right program, finding funding, navigating the whole visa process, even relocating to the UK. Having that kind of support, it can make all the difference, especially when you're making such a big decision.
I'm already feeling inspired. It sounds like Oxford, even though it seems like this distant dream,
Uh,
it's more attainable than we might think. Before we move on, let's just take a second to recap what we've learned.
okay, so we've established that Oxford University is a world-class institution, and it really is genuinely welcoming to students from all over the world, including, of course, Africa. They have a huge array of programs, a very supportive environment for international students, and lots of resources to help you navigate, every step of the process.
Yeah, we've also talked about, the really important stuff, the fees, funding, scholarships, and even what the student life is actually like, plus what you can do with your degree afterwards.
And don't forget, you don't have to go through this alone. Organizations like Immigration Bridging Academy they're there to provide, personalized guidance and support.
So take a deep breath, everyone. Grab a notebook and start exploring your options. The journey to Oxford, it starts with a single step.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Oxford, especially for those of you listening in Africa. We've talked about some of the practical things, the applications, finances, visas. But now let's get into what really makes Oxford unique. What sets it apart from other universities?
Yeah, I'm really curious about that. I mean, we've all heard of Oxford, but what's the real deal? Beyond the reputation, I mean.
One word, the tutorial system. It's a way of learning that is really special to Oxford. You won't find it at most other universities.
Okay, break that down for me. What was a tutorial? Is it like a small seminar?
It's much more personal than that. Imagine spending a week diving deep into a specific topic. You're reading, you're researching, you're really, really getting into it. Then you sit down with a leading expert in that field sometimes even one-on-one, and you discuss your ideas. You challenge your thinking.
Wait, hold on. So it's not just passively sitting in a lecture hall. You're actually debating with a top scholar in your field.
Exactly. It's all about that deep exploration, critical thinking, pushing yourself to really understand the subject.
That sounds pretty intense, but also, pretty incredible. Would it be intimidating though? Arguing with someone who practically wrote the book on the topic.
It can be challenging for sure, but that's where the real learning happens. The tutors are there to guide you, to encourage you to think for yourself, to develop your own arguments.
I see. Yeah, I'm seeing how this system creates a totally different kind of learning experience. It's not just about memorizing facts. It's about becoming a critical thinker.
Exactly. It's about, developing those critical thinking skills, becoming a better researcher, and ultimately becoming a true scholar in your field.
So it's not just about getting the degree. It's about developing like a lifelong love of learning.
Yes, and that's a hallmark of Oxford graduates. They're known for their thirst for knowledge, their willingness to challenge the status quo, and their passion for making a real difference in the world.
It sounds like Oxford is more than just a university. It's like a community of passionate scholars, a place where innovation thrives.
And that community extends far beyond the classroom. Oxford has this huge alumni network, people who are doing amazing things in every field imaginable, from politics and business to science and the arts.
So it's about the connections you make, the doors that open up because of those connections, not just the years you spend studying there.
Precisely. An Oxford degree, it isn't just a piece of paper. It's a passport to this global network of opportunities.
I have to admit, Oxford is sounding more and more appealing by the minute, but I'm sure some of our listeners might be thinking, will I fit in? Will I feel welcome as an African student?
That's a great question. And this is where things get really interesting. Remember, Oxford has this massive international student community. Over a third of their students are from outside the UK.
So it's really a global melting pot, not just a British institution.
Exactly. And they have, programs and support systems in place that are specifically designed to make sure all students feel welcome and included.
What kind of programs are we talking about?
Well, there are, cultural societies and clubs representing different countries and regions, including a very vibrant African student community. These groups, they organize social events, cultural celebrations, support networks, things that help international students connect and really feel at home.
It sounds like they're really putting in the effort to create this welcoming and inclusive environment.
They also have mentorship programs where senior students and alumni can guide and support new students, especially those from, underrepresented backgrounds.
That's fantastic. Having someone who understands your experiences and your challenges can make a huge difference, especially when you're in a new place.
And and let's not forget the city of Oxford itself. It's a vibrant, diverse city with a rich history and culture. You'll find people from all walks of life, from all over the world.
So it's not just about being part of the Oxford community. It's about being part of this global community within a city that embraces diversity.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that makes Oxford so special, the chance to learn from people with different perspectives, to broaden your horizons and to develop, a truly global outlook.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling the appeal. But let's be real. Getting into Oxford is no easy feat.
You're absolutely right. It's a competitive process. You need to be prepared to put in the work.
So let's talk strategy. What can African students do to increase their chances of getting accepted?
First and foremost, make sure you meet the academic requirements. Oxford sets high standards, so you need to have a strong academic record.
Okay, so top grades are a must then.
Absolutely. But it's not just about grades. Oxford, they're looking for students who are passionate about their chosen field, who have demonstrated intellectual curiosity, and who have the potential to make a real contribution to their field.
So it's about showcasing your talents and experiences, proving you're more than just a set of grades.
Exactly. Think about what makes you stand out. Have you participated in any research projects, volunteer work, extracurricular activities, things that show your passion and your commitment?
So it's about telling your story, painting a picture of who you are as a person
Yeah.
and what you bring to the table.
Yes, and don't be afraid to highlight your cultural background and experiences as an African student. Oxford, they value diversity, and they're looking for students who can bring, unique perspectives to the classroom.
That's encouraging to hear. It's not about trying to fit into a mold.
Yeah.
It's about embracing what makes you unique.
Exactly. And remember, the application process is just the first step. If you're shortlisted, you'll be invited for an interview, which is another opportunity to really showcase your personality and your potential.
So the interview isn't just a grilling session. It's a chance for them to get to know you better.
It's a chance for you to really demonstrate your passion, your critical thinking skills,
Yeah.
and your ability to engage in intellectual discussion.
Okay, so preparation is key. What resources are available to help African students navigate the application and interview process?
Well, the Oxford website has tons of information,
Okay.
including sample interview questions and tips from current students. You can also connect with alumni networks or organizations like Immigration Bridging Academy, which offer personalized guidance and support.
So there's help out there. You just have to know where to look.
And don't underestimate the power of reaching out to current African students at Oxford. They can offer, invaluable insights into what life is really like there and
Yeah.
what it takes to succeed.
That's a great point. Hearing from someone who's been in your shoes can be incredibly inspiring and reassuring.
And remember, even if you don't get accepted on your first try, don't give up on your Oxford dream. Many successful applicants have applied multiple times.
So it's not a one-shot deal. You can learn from the experience and come back stronger.
Exactly. The journey to Oxford is a marathon, not a sprint.
I love that.
Mm.
All right, listeners, I hope you're feeling motivated and empowered. Applying to Oxford can seem daunting.
Yeah.
But it's as possible. And if you're an African student
Yeah.
with a dream, don't let anything hold you back.
Remember, Oxford is looking for talented students from all over the world, students who are ready to challenge themselves, push the boundaries of knowledge, and make a positive impact on the world.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be welcoming you to the Oxford community. We'll be back after a short.
And we're back, wrapping up our look at what makes Oxford special. Especially for those of you listening in Africa who are thinking, is this really for me?
Yeah, I mean, we've gone through the nitty-gritty applications, finding funding that unique tutorial system, even what daily life is like for students there.
And I think we've made it pretty clear that while getting into Oxford is a challenge, it's definitely achievable for students who have the talent and the drive, no matter where you're from.
Right, exactly.
So let's talk big picture for a second. Why should an African student even consider Oxford? What makes all this effort worth it?
That's where it gets really interesting. See, in Oxford education, it isn't just about, acquiring knowledge. It's about developing the skills you need to become leader in your field, whatever that field may be. You learn to think critically. You learn to do effective research. You even learn how to communicate those ideas persuasively to others. So it's not just about, getting a job after graduation. It's about having the skills to make a real impact.
Exactly. Oxford graduates, they're known for their ability to tackle complex problems, to make a real difference in the world. And those skills, they're needed everywhere, but especially in Africa, a continent with so much potential, but also facing, some unique challenges.
So in Oxford education, it can be like a catalyst for positive change in Africa.
Absolutely. Imagine African leaders, entrepreneurs, scientists, artists, all equipped with the knowledge and the network they need to address, issues like poverty, inequality, climate change. I mean, the possibilities, they're endless.
It's a powerful vision. What would you say to an African student who's listening to this right now, maybe a little hesitant, unsure if Oxford is really for them?
I'd say don't let fear or doubt hold you back. You have the potential to achieve incredible things. And Oxford, they're looking for talent. They're looking for passion. They're looking for people who want to make a difference. And that could be you.
That's inspiring. So what's the first step? What should our listeners do like right now if they're even a little bit interested in Oxford?
Go to the Oxford University website and just start exploring. Look at the programs, read about what it's like to be a student there.
Yeah.
Check out the resources they have specifically for international applicants.
Okay, so knowledge is power, right?
Right.
Arm yourself with the information and see where it leads you.
And don't forget about organizations like Immigration Bridging Academy. They offer free consultations. You can discuss your qualifications, your goals. They can help you figure out the whole application process, find funding, even make the move to the UK, a little bit easier.
Yeah. You don't have to do this alone. There's support out there.
Remember that the application, it's just the beginning. If you're lucky enough to get an offer from Oxford, you're embarking on this amazing adventure,
Yeah.
one that will challenge you, it'll expand your horizons and connect you with this global community of really brilliant minds.
That's a great way to put it. Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Oxford for African students. We hope you found it insightful, maybe even a little inspiring.
The world needs your talent, your passion, your unique perspective. And who knows, maybe Oxford is the perfect place for you to hone your skills, feed your curiosity, and launch your dreams.
So go for it. Explore your options. Dare to dream big. The future is yours to shape. Until next time, keep seeking knowledge, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.